Bliss Divine satsang. Tonight we're going to have a phenomenal, amazing night, a subject. How many of you are aware that by the age of 30 years old, that the great majority of people are already conditioned and they have formed a personality that is not their true nature, it's just things they have gathered. And one of the things they have gathered, and most people, habit energy. And we're going to talk about habit energy. What is a habit energy? How can they ruin your life? And how can they transform your life and empower you to tap into your full potential? And so this is a subject, and we're going to look at how to master your energy habit so you can transform your life. How many of you are aware also that most people are not aware of their energy habit? They don't know what they are, and the very strong one are very strong compulsion, and how to get rid of them. So tonight it will be the topic, we'll delve deep into it, so stay tuned, and we'll have a guided meditation as well, and we're going to chant as well we'll do some mantra yoga. So before we start, let's take 3 deep, beautiful breaths together. Keep your spine straight with your hands turned upward and close your eyes. And as we breathe together as one heart, one soul, one spirit, just feel the energy, your breath. Bring your conscious awareness going up and down. Anchor yourself in this present moment. And let go of everything with your mind. You can command to all your muscle to relax and calm the brain wave, and calm your mind. Second deep breath. Feel the life force energy going up and down your spine. Bring your consciousness. And the third one. So, what are energy habits? Energy habits are any kind of behavior. You may open your eyes, and any kind of behavior that are repeated, either consciously or unconsciously. Energy habit doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It can be a great thing if you're conscious of what they are. So, their behavior pattern that are repeated and they absorbing and take your energy. The question is, are they healthy energy habit, or are they unhealthy, meaning that they are affecting your relationship, they're affecting your profession, they're affecting your quality of life, your well-being. For most people, their energy habits become compulsion. Compulsion in the sense they're not even aware of them, not mindful, and they repeat a lot of things. They're like puppet string. So energy habits start with what we call in the yogic tradition a karmic impression. Karmic impression that is imprinted in the subtle body, in the physical body. So it's called a samskar. A samskar become a tendency, a vasana. So when you start having a tendency, it's even more imprinted. It's harder to change. It will require bringing a lot of the fire of the blue flame, what Devi talks about, the mindfulness and the sadhana. And then those vasana become energy habit. So the question is, in your life, what are your energy habits? And some of them are very obvious. You know, if you start contemplating, looking back at your life, some of them will pop up. You know, but some of them are so subtle. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. A mindset pattern. Often it can be a stimulus response. An energy habit can be created by that. Someone will talk to you in a certain way, whatever is there. They're stimulating a response from you because it's already so conditioned into your system. It's such a strong sanskar. And so the one that really ruins people's life is their compulsion. Like, for example, someone who worries a lot, you know, that mindset of constantly worrying. Someone who's constantly ruminating, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Yeah, talking like, the jabbering. What's going to be so fascinating as we move along in this exploration is we're going to talk about the brain wave. What happened to the brain wave? Because how many of you are aware that your conscious breath, your breath, has a direct correlation with your mental state of mind? Were you aware of that? It's huge. Extremely huge. So the power of the breath, this is so ingrained into what I bring into our program at Devi's Grace, but in my teaching, because when you bring yourself back to this present moment, most people don't know how to do that, because what they don't realize is the brain wave. When you bring yourself to the present moment through the conscious breath, your brain wave goes into an alpha state. And we're going to explore all of that, which is very fascinating. Brain wave, how many of you are aware that our brain wave, we have electromagnetic energy? It's like electric. The snappers happen, the electricity. It's an electrical organ, so to speak. What's so fascinating, a lot of study have been done on that, correlated to different behavior, what I mean different behavior, like for example, going back to your conscious breath, how it affects your mental state and what kind of brain wave you have. So we'll talk about the brain wave in a moment, but before we go there, we will talk about the magical one, because this is a question that I have come very often, because how do you change and transform those energy habits that sucks your energy out? And if you look at your relationships, so you would say, certain people you attract in your life could suck your energy out. Have you noticed that also? But the reality, it's not the people. It's like, I heard lately someone says, oh, there's so much drama in the world. And I say, no, beloved, the drama is inside of you. The same thing with this energy habit. Nobody has the power to come and steal your energy unless you allow them. But the question is, if there's a strong energy habit, it's a matter of transforming that. So you can cut that puppet string with that person that you feel that it's coming to suck your energy, because no one has that power. And so compulsion are they definitely are the energy habit that can really suck your life force energy and bring you in a different direction in your life that you don't want, because either they're not healthy, they're not conducive for your spiritual unfoldment, they're not conducive for your highest good, but they can be transformed. It's just a matter of changing the samskar, the impression, and getting rid of the tendency. And it always starts with mindfulness, it always starts with awareness. How can you change something, beloved, if you're not aware of it? So the subtle one, like, instance, we have mentioned a few. Another one is like, people are addicted, they consume a lot of social media. That's another energy habit. It's compulsive, grabbing the phone, one example. Some of them are so subtle, they're really more inward. I mean, it has nothing to do very much with what's going on outside. It's more inward, a certain state of mind that you put yourself in. And that is something for you to explore, to see what is it that triggers inside of myself. Where do I put my energy as I go? It's all a matter of becoming really conscious of how you go on your day, and you see how you interact with people, how you interact with the world, the news, the media. How much are you absorbing and consuming from sensory impression? Because sensory impression can trigger some energy habit. So the magical one, some of you are familiar with it, but the question is, are you using it? When Devi talks about the magical one, it's like when you're a child, you know, when you play as a magician, you have a stick, and you go like, whoop, you know. That is an inner divine power we all have, we human beings, and most people don't use it. Because number one, most people are not aware of it. And it's not that difficult to experience your divine presence when you start practicing and you know the secret how to do it. So the magical one is your divine inner power of really becoming mindful and conscious of your thoughts, your words and your action, which affect your energy and affect how you feel. Because part of using the magical one, most people also are not aware, or a good majority, is that we human beings, we have the power to create our own biochemistry. Like, if you look in psychology, for instance, when they talk about psychosomatic, the direct impact from thoughts, how it can affect your whole physical aspect, it's a truth. But even more than that, it affects the physical, the emotional, the mental, the energetic body, what we call in the yogic tradition, and at all different levels. So when you start using a magical one and really becoming aware of how you go into your thoughts, your words, and your action, and what kind of energy you're generating, what kind of emotion, what kind of feelings, it goes the other way around too. It's like a circle. Then you start having some good thoughts, some good feelings, joy, and now you start vibrating at a higher energy. Your frequency change. You're not in lower energy on the sense, feeling anxiety, frustration, anger, resentments, or feeling down, feeling low. And now all of this is affecting your pranic energy. And so it's like a circle. And I'm answering that question because this was posed by a follower around the world lately. And I hope you're here tonight, beloved, because you wanted to know more about your magical one. So it's really about anchoring yourself to this moment through the power of your breath and checking in to see what's happening inside of myself. What are my emotions? What are my feelings? Where is my breath? Is my breath stuck and shallow in my heart? Most people, this is how they accumulate, this is how they condition, because they're not aware of how the world is conditioning them constantly. And the whole process of spiritual awakening is to uncondition, unlearning, getting rid of garbage, all that garbage that you have accumulated, the like and the dislike. And we cannot undermine the power of the conscious breath, because I will always, for the rest of my life, emphasize this. This is such a simple tool to bring you back to this present moment. And through the power of your thoughts, to relax every muscle, everything, and then bring some incantation and bring some gatha and sing it out loud, or mantra to change your vibration. You can't underestimate that, because it allows you, what happened in this moment, you allowed yourself to process your karma. Let's say you had a big fight with your lover, or a best friend, or at work, or your ex-husband, and something traumatic is going, and you don't want to deal with it, you deny it. But if you take the moment, instead of putting it underneath the carpet, you really go back to your breath, and you close your eyes, and you breathe through it. Most people, you would notice, if you do it right now in this moment, you will notice your energy is stuck here. For most people, when they breathe, they have a hard time breathing, and it doesn't go higher, because they hold so much emotion there, and they're not aware of their emotion. That's another energy habit. Did you know that? Not to process your emotion and your feelings. Why do you think people fall in depression or they have anxiety attack? Because they're not in touch with their feelings and their emotion. So, anchoring yourself often, daily, so many times during the day, to stop and breathe in for like a couple of minutes, and you can say out loud, I'm a child of the divine, I radiate, emanate the light, and I feel at ease and at peace, and I send love to all beings. And if it's a person who hurt you, then you process it, you send love to that person, you send them beautiful. Even if you anger, you process your anger, because the thing is, it's a poison. If you don't process your feelings, your emotion, it gets stuck karmically. And that's how you develop other kind of energy habit. You know, energy habit of anger. You see that. Some people, have you noticed that in your own environment? Some people have a chronic anger about them in their energy. That's an energy habit. I'm just giving you a couple of examples because they're so subtle. Or having a long face. An energy habit of maybe of wanting attention, and seeking approval. But all of that does not empower you. What empowers you, beloved, is when you use your energy habit to your highest good. And how you go about your day. Energy habit to sit down and doing your sadhana. And energy habit of stopping and breathing in and becoming conscious and releasing all the tension inside and retouching with your divine nature, your divine presence inside. So the brain wave And I'm going to make the connection between the two because they're very, very important. And most people are not aware of that either. And the Maharishi, the great sages throughout the ages and through the yogic tradition, already knew that for thousands of years ago. I'll start with a very simple example. When you bring yourself back to this present moment like that and you do it regularly, you will notice your mind will start calming down. You might even have tears because you have processed what needed to process. Then the mind start calming down because when you breathe in, you're breathing life force energy. Prana. Prana is so incredibly beautiful. I have seen it and I've said it many times. And you can come to a point on the spiritual path that you can't see it. When you inhale it, it's a light. It's like snowflake, an ethereal light. It's intelligent energy that we constantly breathing in that is healing. So you can heal yourself in this present moment just by the power of your conscious breath. So in that process, the brain wave goes into a alpha state. Now, there are 5 stages of brain wave. We started talking about that earlier. The first one is Theta. Theta is the brain wave is the frequency are really fast. The earth, what we call earth. So the mind is very agitated. So it's called, according to neuroscience, it's very fast. It's when the mind is agitated, a jabbering mind, a ruminating mind. So overstimulation of brain wave of Theta will create stress, will create anxiety, will create all the low frequency energy habit that we talk about. Anxiety, stress, resentments, but especially the jabbering, especially an over excessive stress, because the mind is overstimulating with so much frequency. There's too much electromagnetic going on into the brain. So then after that, there's another one called Gamma, and they're still doing some research on that one, and much more needs to come on that. That one is used for when someone is really engaged with concentration, studying, at work, where you really focus, which is a healthy brain wave. But in excess of that is no good either, because it's not calming, it's fast frequency. Then comes alpha. Alpha wave, the frequency and the hertz. I won't go into all the details of that because I'll tell you a little later why when I make an announcement tonight, which we're all very thrilled to say that. A lot more will come on this in this announcement, but let's stick to the most important. Alpha wave, it's where the mind starts calming down. The activity of the electromagnetic energy is really calming. This is where you really start feeling a sense of equanimity and inner peace. So, beloved, when you return to your conscious breath, you can experience your divine presence right now in this moment. It takes practice. But some people who do it for many months, they're amazed of the healing power. Because what happens is you're training your brain to go in Theta wave. It's not extraordinary or what. And it does work. It's a state, it's a fact. They have done study and you can see that. A mind that goes into a meditative state even go into Theta wave. So after alpha wave is Theta wave. Theta wave, it's even calmer. The electromagnetic energy really calms down. I forgot, I think it's around 7.5. So very calm. And so that means there's very little activity in the brain wave. The Siddha Satchit Kriyananda bring you into a Theta wave, what the program you just did, that you were initiated. The guided meditation, like in the womb, brings you into a Theta wave. I have something great. I'm going to, please bear with Devi Ma, because we're going into something now that is fascinating. Mantra yoga brings you in an alpha state. Both are good. Sometimes you can vacillate between the alpha and the Theta wave. But as you go deeper, it depending on how open you are, how relaxed you are, how receptive you are. Because if you're not open, then of course then the mind will be jabbering. You know, someone who's really open and they open the gate and open their window, and I trust, I have faith, the mind come down, because the mind doesn't judge, doesn't come to conclusion, doesn't come to assumption. So it's easy to bring yourself into a state of alpha and Theta wave through those tools. So when you are in a state of Theta wave, into the Siddha Satchit Kriyananda, through, let's say, the Devi Ma blossoming Dharana meditation, which is online on Shree Devi Mayi YouTube and eventually in Sanyama, or in the womb, guided meditation in the program, or any of the guided meditation we do, like the one we did in the recording couple of weeks ago, which you can come on Devi's Grace. By the way, if there is new people online, we invite you to come on devigrace.org. If you sign up for the newsletter, you will receive this very empowering guided meditation. It's called the Divine Inner Cave Guided Meditation. That one is 35 minutes. It will completely bring you into Theta wave. The secret about it, what's so wonderful about this is where you can influence your subconscious mind. Because you're tapping into your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind has no idea if it's a reality or not. So you can influence it. You can change your energy habit there. You can change your samskar, your impression. So when we do the guided meditation and I ask you to bring your sankalpa from Sanskrit means your intention, you could bring an energy habit that you want to change. Instead of seeing the energy habit that you don't want, see one that you want, that is going to empower you. Do the opposite of it. Do you see what I mean? You bring it, you visualize it, you see it. The subconscious mind will have no idea if it's the reality or not. And it's proven to science. I'm not making this up. And what's so phenomenal is the Maharishi knew that 10,000 years ago. And they transmitted that. That's why meditation exists. That's why we have all those tools. Now, the other thing, you can even go deeper. And deeper is the delta wave, brain wave. You can completely reprogram your brain. Rewire your brain. And because in that state of delta is the deepest state of consciousness. So you see, beloved, each time you go deeper into a different state of wavelength, you have a different state of consciousness. So the alpha, theta wave, you start tapping into a different level of consciousness. Delta wave is rare for most people to go into that state, but it's very possible. When we had Radiating the Light program a month ago, some of you went into that state. I know that because some of you had a hard time coming out. It's a very deep state where the cycle, there's like 1 or 2 cycles of electromagnetic waves. You're tapping into the unconscious. You're not even aware. Like Sandra was saying, who did the program, and again in the recording she was saying, she was out on the floor and couldn't come out. She was completely in a state of unconscious. This is the beauty about this, because those tools, this is the power you have, beloved. You can bring yourself into those different wave state, which bring you into different state of consciousness. So remember, alpha and theta wave, you can achieve that through the Siddha Satchitriyananda mindful technique tool that we go over into Becoming the Light and Radiating the Light program. And now a very important tool is the breath. And you will notice the more you will do it, your brain will naturally, you're conditioning your brain. This is a fantastic habit energy to create, because automatically when you stop, your brain will know, and you can go from the beta wave where your mind is jabbering and overreactive by stimulus, and through the power of your magical one, I am calm, I am at ease, and you bring your conscious breath. You will notice after months, your brain immediately will go into alpha wave. Maybe even in theta wave. If you mindfully walk, you mindfully move around your day. The theta wave is the Zen wave. The theta wave is the power of now wave. I am here now. It brings you into an alpha as well. It brings you into a moment of existence where you're not in the past and you're not in the future. And when I say past and future, future could just be like 2 minutes later, when are we going to finish? When are we going to take a break? When are we going, that is being in the future. But to be in the power of now, to experience that, your mind will have to be into an alpha wave. Now, let's go back to delta wave for a moment. Delta wave, as I said, is also someone who's in a deep sleep. Deep sleep, not even in the REM state. REM state is when you're dreaming, right? The brain is not in delta when you are in REM. But when you are in a state of deep sleep and you're not dreaming, this is delta. Very little activity of the brain. But did you know, beloved, that you can bring yourself in that state through yogic power practices? If you go into state of samadhi, yogi, we know how to do that. State of different kind of samadhi. You can do that just in meditation, where even in sanyama, where maybe not for a long time, but maybe for 1 minute, 5 minutes, then the brain can vacillate from delta to theta wave, back to alpha. But it doesn't matter, because if you are in that range, your mind is really calm. And this is where you you can actually live your life, almost, not always, because there's moment in life where you need to be into a gamma brain wave. If you're active at work, you need to use your intellect, then the brain will be active. It's fascinating. So, but what is the secret and the most, and we're going to take question now, what's most fascinating about all of this is you can train yourself to be in a state most of the time where when you are in alpha brain wave, in the power of now, and this is where you can really tap in your intuition, because the voice of the alpha wave is you can tap into your creativity, idea flows that comes from the cosmos, from the Akash. This is where you have inner knowing, this is where you have revelation, you have epiphany. You know those ha-ha moments when they come, you know they don't come from your intellect, they come from somewhere. Is that your brain was in that calmness. In the power of now is the theta wave, the alpha wave, both. But the theta wave is harder to function on a daily basis, but it's possible to be absolutely when you're in a state of sanyama. Now, when we do guided meditation, which we're going to do tonight, and it will be a really healing, empowering and transforming meditation, your mind will go into alpha to theta, depending on how open and receptive you are. But normally, most people, it's easy for them. So remember, this is where you reprogram yourself. So select your Sanskalpa. You can, and this is where you can manifest. Manifesting is where you can completely change your programming. And if you do it, and I highly recommend you do it every day, guided meditation at least once a day, where you can work on many things. On your energy habit, the ones that are not empowering you, the one you want to transform, you reprogram. Bring the opposite of what you want. Have a clear vision of what it is. And see it, feel it, and your subconscious mind will have no idea. So what are you doing? You're changing the samskar. That's what you're doing. You're reprogramming. That's the power we have, human beings. And if you want to manifest, or even just changing your energy habit, highly recommended you do a guided meditation every day. And not only that, when you come out of it, it's like, you feel so rejuvenated. The whole body is in such a state. And you know that from having done it many times. So let's take some question. Is there any question? Let's see. Any question here in the center? Can you look at the chat and description also, see maybe?
Yeah, nothing.
Okay. You sure? Because last time you said no and there were two questions.
I'm just going to get my account again.
Of course. Nothing? No? Okay. So, we will, let's chant then. Did you check the description as
I
well?
have a question.
Yeah? Okay. So I know sometimes question comes like a few hours, a few minutes later, or 5 minutes later, oh my God, I forgot I should have asked that. Yeah, go ahead, please.
So is Theta sleep?
No.
Without dreams?
No, delta is sleep. But theta, you can go in a slight doze off, definitely. A lucid, like a lucid sleep, where you're in a state of a deep rest, and yet you're conscious. But there's very little brain activity, because the brain activity is a brain wave. Starting from beta to delta, the frequency is very different. It's like high frequency in beta, meaning there is a lot of activity, a lot of electromagnetic, a lot of movement. And so it creates a different energy within yourself. It creates different energy habit too. But if you go closer to delta, well, delta, you will definitely have your eyes closed, because like yogis, like even when we go into deep meditation, and there have been some yogis in the Himalaya, I mean, they can go into certain, like for instance, nirvakalpa samadhi. I mean, they're completely out for an entire day. I mean, there's like no, almost, I cannot say no brain activity, because if there is zero cycle, then that means your brain dead. But delta is definitely sleeping at a deep, or in a state of samadhi, where you completely, you tap into the unconscious mind, the akash. We call it in the yogic tradition the Chitta. Chitta is the cosmic mind of the divine, where everything is there. It's a very, very rare state for most people, unless you're a yogi, you've done a lot of sadhana. But when you go into guided meditation, you can have glimpse of that for sure, definitely. But most of the time, the guided meditation, you would vacillate more from alpha to theta. But it doesn't matter, because either one of them, but especially theta, theta brings you in a state of consciousness where you feel oneness. You feel a complete state of expansion, like you have no body, you don't have a body anymore. You feel light, you're having an out-of-body experience. That's what is theta. And this is where you can reprogram by bringing your sanskar. But you see, did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Huh?
Thank you.
Yeah?
When you're really tired, you can be almost half awake, half asleep, right? Is that, what level of brain activity is that?
Well, let's say when you go to sleep, you read a book, right?
Yes.
And you're starting to fall asleep. Your mind goes from beta to alpha, and as you're closing your book, theta, they call it the twilight. It's twilight because it's like the twilight. You have a glimpse of it before you go to bed. And when you put your head on the pillow and you have that sense of complete relaxation, you read a couple of pages, and your mind is very, very calm, you are in theta. But they call it twilight because it's so short. It's so short. But this is where you can fall asleep. Come, Shiva. This is where you can fall asleep with your conscious breath. If you haven't watched that video yet on YouTube about how to tap into the yogic power of deep sleep, watch it, because all the tool, the yogic tool I give in that video is exactly that. Because when you fall asleep, you go in that state, and when you go in that twilight, the theta brain wave, you can fall asleep with your conscious breath and bring your intention right away. your sankalpa. You could visualize what you want, how my day is going to be tomorrow, or whatever. What, again, you can work on your energy habit. What is my energy habit that I want to bring that will empower me? That will empower, or it could be professionally, I want to sign a contract, and each time you fall asleep, you see yourself signing a contract for like screenplay, something like that, you know, or for you, a new client, or just falling asleep and experiencing your divine presence. Because when you are in the Theta wave, if you breathe consciously and you chant Om Namah Shivaya, you will experience your divine presence there. You will have such a sense of equanimity, of expansion, because Theta wave brings you that state of consciousness. And that's what's so incredible. Don't you think it's fascinating? And very few people are aware of that when you think about the whole planet. Yeah.
There's another question online.
I'm sorry?
There's another question online.
The question online.
Yeah, please.
It's from Morad Sedki.
Morad. Namaste, beloved Morad.
I have a question.
It's
Is there a
from
process one can bring into daily life to take steps towards reaching delta waves? Also, can Siddha Satchit Ananda Kriya lead to delta eventually?
Yes, it can. But I want to hear the question again. I'm not sure if I
Long
heard
question.
it.
So Murad asks, is there a process
Yeah.
one can bring into daily lives to take steps towards reaching delta waves? So basically he's asking, you know, what can you do on a daily basis to be in delta?
You can't be in delta every day because you will not be functioning, Morad. But all the sadhana you're doing right now and practicing the mindful, doing the becoming the light, and eventually other sadhana you're doing, and doing the Siddha Satchit Kriya Ananda, it's all naturally preparing you to your spiritual unfoldment, and eventually some sanyama, where gradually, progressively, you can go into delta. But who knows, maybe you already have the twilight of the delta when you do the guided meditation, like the one that we sent to you, you have received via email, which is the Divine Inner Cave. Do that one, because possibly because it happened here when we did the recording. Actually, there was one person, she's not here this evening, but I'm convinced she went into delta, because she was for almost like an hour, well maybe not an hour, but at least 40 minutes, she would not get out, and she was completely out, and she said she was completely unaware and she was not asleep. So it's possible, but it's not something to be in it every day, unless you're in a deep samadhi, let's say for a day or two. What would be very useful for you is to be, for most people, is to be pretty much where your mind, your brain wave is more in the alpha. Because the alpha is where you are in the power of now, of that present moment. Meaning you really anchor in this moment. You see what I'm saying? But through the Siddha Satchit Kriya Ananda, absolutely, you can go, but it would be most likely it will be Theta to Alpha to Theta. I thought I lost the microphone for a second. Delta, glimpse of it, the twilights of it, more into guided meditation. So to answer your question, I would recommend to do a guided meditation if you can. If you have time, maybe not every day, but every other day, or if you have time. And that would lead to what I wanted to make an announcement. Devi Mayi is going to launch a new program, online program, short program, but really powerful, about manifesting, about working with the law of attraction, the law of assumption, and the law of karma. But it will be really geared more with hands-on with guided meditation, and there will be several of them. One for healing, one for love relationship, one for manifesting abundance and miracle. There will probably be like 5 or 6, and they're designed to bring you from an alpha to a theta wave. But to finish answering your question, Murad, I would say don't be too concerned with that, because then your mind is going to start thinking, am I into theta wave? Or then your mind started acting, don't worry about that. This is good to know, this is empowering, this is inspiring, and this is motivational, but then let it go. You will naturally know when you are doing it. You will see how you are in a state. And the theta wave will naturally grow, because this is, let's put it that way. As you evolve, I'm speaking for everyone, consciousness, it will naturally, your brain is going to change. And that's why when they do testing, like the neuroscientists, they do testing on monks and yogis, and they see clearly their brain waves, they are pretty much into a state where they're almost brain dead. I know one in particular, which I'm not going to mention now, but it's definitely possible. But right now I would say don't be concerned with it. Everything is possible. But know that when you go into that state, your eyes are closed and you are tapping into the unconscious. Though the theta wave, the one prior to that you can easily achieve that now, easily through the guided meditation. And this is where you work on reprogramming your subconscious mind. The delta, you will get glimpse and glimpse there and there. And as you evolve as a yogi, then who knows, maybe, we don't know, one day you'll go into a samadhi where you'll be like out maybe for a couple of days. I hope this was helpful and that answered your question. Write a comment and let us know. And Shree, can you tell us if there's more questions?
No.
Or Prashant, any more questions?
No.
Yeah. But I would say don't be concerned with this too much. Just enjoy the ride as you are. It's great to have this knowledge. It's very empowering. And what's here for you to remember the most is let's take a moment right now before we do the guided meditation. Look at your life. What is your energy habit you would love to change? What is the samskar you want to change? Compulsion. Is there a compulsion in your life that you want to change? Close your eyes. Look for a moment. What is it that you want to reprogram in your brain? So this new program will be like about 8 to 10 video. It will be launched in the beginning of December. It will be very empowering. and we'll go a little bit more in depth, but it will not be a program where there's a lot of talk. It'll be a lot of, how can I say that, guided meditation where you can really work with your magical one. It will be experiential. That's the word I was looking for, experiential. So now you have, think of 3 sanskar spots. They could be energy habit you want to change into empower one where it will elevate, empower you, your vibrational energy. Or it could be something you want to manifest in your life, either in your profession, your love, or in the world. Something is good for you and for the highest good for all living beings. Any more question on the chat or description?
There's one more comment from
Yeah.
Murad.
Yes.
The present time now, it brings me to a state where after 2 minutes of breath watching, it brings me to a sleep-like state where I don't feel like opening my eyes and I want to stay there like this for longer.
That's wonderful. It means that you're letting go of stress. When you let go of stress, the first thing you do, you're yawning. I say that because I saw Joe yawning. You're letting go. When you really breathe and it shows how much you're holding. But when you start relaxing through your breath, number one, that could be one of the reasons, is that you're carrying a lot of stress and you're not conscious of it. Number two is that you might interpret that as a sleeping, but maybe it's not. It's more calming your mind and it's putting into a meditative state. Meditative state can be confused to a little bit of a sleepy state. Meditative is where the mind goes really quiet. But the fact you say you don't want to open your eyes sounds to me it's a meditative state. Unless you sleep deprived. If you sleep deprived, it's a different story. You would know that. But what you're describing sounds like you're holding a lot of stress and emotion. And as soon as you go back to your breath, your mindful breath, conscious breath, then it relaxes you and it brings you into an alpha, maybe even a theta wave, because the conscious breath can do that. It really can do that. I mean, the fact what you say, if it's meditative, what you're describing, Murad, is telling Devi Ma that it's theta wave. And it's so great. It's a fantastic thing. So please respond back. Tell us, do you think it's sleepy? If it's sleepy, it's because you don't sleep well enough. Because the conscious breathing should not put you to sleep. It's the opposite. It will put you into a meditative state and it will, in the same time, rejuvenate you. And it depends also the emotion you're carrying. You know, if you had a fight with a friend or an argument with your mother the day before, you see what I'm saying? So, did I answer your question, your comment? See if you responded.
It's definitely not sleeping.
That's great.
It's just deep relaxed state.
That's wonderful. You are making some fantastic progress. Devi Ma is so happy. That's so great. Keep doing it. Then if you don't feel like opening your eyes, then just stay there. Just enjoy it, because that means you're going more into a meditative state. Your mind is definitely going into a theta wave. Then, now, this is the secret for you, Murad. Then, stay like that a little longer 5-10 minutes, enjoy it. Maybe even 15 minutes. If you don't want to come up, don't. Enjoy it. It's such a beautiful place to be. And then when you come at the end, this is what I want to tell you, all of you, including you, Murad. When you come to the end, the subconscious mind is very easily influenced. So right away when you come of it, flash what you want to see. You want to see prosperity, you want to see abundance, you want to see healthy, recovering from illness, see yourself well, you can do that every day. You don't need to have a long meditation for hours and hours. You could do it quickly, train your brain. This is an energy habit for you to bring to yourself. When you come out of your conscious breath like this, after 5-10 minutes, flash what you want to create in your life. This is where you transform your life. You want to bring more abundance, you want to bring new friends, you want to self-realize, you want, I don't know, whatever it is, if it's a car, or you want to sign an agreement for your profession, or you want to feel rejuvenated, whatever you want, or if it's just changing your energy habit. So this is the secret to come with, is that when you bring yourself to that state, which you're doing super great and so happy for that, is take 1 to 2 minutes and flash those sankalpa. Flash them, one after them. And then you will feel, God, your energy. What's happening is, remember from becoming the light, you transcending. Because Theta wave is transcendence. Especially also in Delta. This is Zen. This is transcendence. So, therefore, whatever you bring to your subconscious mind in that moment, your subconscious mind will lessen. Even beta wave will say, your mind will say, no, are you crazy? I can't materialize this. This will never happen. But in Theta wave, your subconscious mind, or whatever you give it, will believe it. So be very careful what you bring when you come out of meditation. When you do the Siddha Satchit Kriyananda, when you stay there, when you come out of it, stay there for a few minutes. Make sure you consciously bring the right visualization when you come out of it. Okay? This is beautiful. Any more comment, any more question before we do the meditation?
No.
You want to look? Shree? Unless Prashant sees well.
Because after I do it, it feels like everything becomes back alive.
That's Maharaj?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that, back alive? You mean alive? I'm not sure what
But
you
there
mean.
is a new sense of aliveness.
That's beautiful. Wow. That's beautiful. This is the power of the breath. This is the power of the breath. Wait, when you do the Siddha Satchit Kriyananda, when you do it properly and mindfully, and you do it, it grows on you and more, meaning alive, everything bursts out of you. It's like, pow! It's so easy to tap and transcend from the physical body to the mental body to the etheric body, remembering the subtle body, and then to the Ananda Maya Kosha, the bliss body. You just go straight to your divine presence to experience your true nature. You could live 100% into your bliss body. Did you know that? That's the power we have. And that's enlightenment. And it does not need to be in another lifetime. It can be right now. It doesn't take that long. With a little practice, with the right tool, and especially the Siddha Satchit Kriyananda, and bringing back that powerful breath that we taught. I'm going to drive you crazy with this because I know the power. And it is the most important thing to bring as energy habit. So if there is one you want to acquire, this is one. Because you will notice it will grow on you. I mean, and it's beautiful, Murad. You're doing some phenomenal progress, and you just started what? I don't know, like 3 months ago, something like that. And you're not even in radiating light, so it's so great. So let's move on. I don't think there is more question, right?
Yeah, he got one more question.
There is one more question. Okay.
So I have another question.
Yeah.
If there is a way to make driving kind of meditative, like walking meditation or mindful driving, because most of the time I live far away from everything, so I have long drive.
Is this Murad?
Yeah.
Repeat it again. I want to make sure I understand clearly.
Is there a way to make driving kind of meditative, like walking meditation or mindful driving? Because most of the times I live far away from everything, so I have long drives ahead of me.
Absolutely. Every breath should be mindful, beloved. When you drive, you can really bring your mind into Theta wave. Did you know that? As a matter of fact, they have done study on that when you drive long distance on the road and you're doing it mindfully with your conscious breath, you bring your mind into a Theta wave so much that you drive miles and miles and you lost track of where you were driving. You're like on autopilot, but that doesn't mean you're not mindful. The way you do it as you're doing it with walking mindfully, meaning as you go, you know you're sitting mindfully, you're aware of it, you're telling yourself, you start your car mindfully, and when you go on mindfully, you bring your breath. It's all with the power of your blue flame. Remember we talked about that. The blue flame of awareness is part of your breath. Call upon that. When you sit in your car, take a beautiful 1 or 2 deep breaths. You don't have to close your eyes, because if it's put you into a meditative state. But even it's okay even if you do that for a few minutes. And then just go slowly, mindfully, and just focus on the driving. Be aware, bring your awareness to everything as you go. And you could put a little music. What I would discourage though is putting news, putting talk. That will pull you out of mindfulness, because then you become distracted. I would say put some nice music and then just kind of background, and then just focus on your breath and as you go on the road. You can certainly, every movement, like taking a glass, you're doing it using your consciousness. It means that you bring yourself now. It means that you're not thinking about the past and you're not thinking about the future as you take your glass of water. The same thing as you're driving. When you drive, don't start thinking about, oh, I gotta fight with my parents or my brother, and then you go on and on. Then you're not mindful, because now you're not in the present moment. Mindfulness is about anchoring yourself in the here and now, in the present moment, existential. And that's what Devi was saying. When you're in Theta wave, you're naturally in the present moment. But if your mind vacillates into thinking about the past, what happened yesterday at work, you got a big fight, or you feel like you got wounded by a friend, and then you're ruminating all of that, then you're not being mindful. you're not in the present moment. You see what I'm saying? Or if you start thinking about the future and your mind is completely absorbed in the future, then your brain is definitely not in theta wave. So being in the present moment is to anchor yourself to the breath. And here I am, I'm driving. And enjoy the drive. Enjoy your breath. Enjoy the scenery. And you could even put a chant. That would be wise. Not too stimulating. And then you can even chant. Chant out loud. Oh my God. That will bring you into a high vibrancy level. So remember, mindfulness means to be anchored in an existential moment that is Zen. When you're in Theta wave, naturally it will do that. Meaning you're not jabbering in your mind, ruminating about the past, and you're not jabbering about the future. You're calm. You're aware. I know I'm here. I'm driving. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying every moment. It's beautiful outside. You feel a sense of oneness with everything. So, just to finish that, they have done research on that when you drive mindfully like that, your brain goes naturally in theta wave. Very calm. When I travel from Connecticut, which is from one side of the USA, to California, I drove that in 2 weeks. I stopped. My mind was completely in theta wave. It was completely so calm. It's such a sense of driving, it's such a sense of departure. It brings so much equanimity and inner peace. And especially if you put a chant or beautiful, peaceful music. Now, before we start the meditation, I'm going to bring something. When I was diagnosed with advanced breast cancer, I've talked a lot about that in previous satsang and programs. But there's one part I didn't talk about was when after I almost died of an anaphylactic shock reaction to the chemotherapy. But later on during my recovery, still on chemotherapy, my mind was completely into Theta all the time. Very little brain activity. When I woke up in the morning, I would linger in bed. Not because I was tired, but where we live, the trees, there was a big window and the light would reflect on the tree. And the wind, the breeze would sway the wave. And I would just go into a complete state of samadhi, of samyama, just looking at the light reflecting. And I would become one with everything. That is a theta wave, completely Zen. And I would spend half an hour, 2 hours, still just laying there, and I was so peaceful. When I was doing my guided meditation, which were self-generated, working with the Ascended Master, this is how I heal, is by their grace, also ultimately by the grace of God. But I work a lot with the Ascended Master. And if you have read Becoming the Light, I talk about that. Every day I did a guided meditation, a healing guided meditation with the Ascended Master. It was so powerful. My subconscious mind had no difference if it was real or not. And to my being, it was real because it healed me. Every day, 2 times a day. And that's how I brought myself back to life. I was at stage 3 and advanced breast cancer that was metastasized. And my system was really destroyed by the chemotherapy. And I did that for many years. I don't know, maybe a year and a half to 2 years, those guided meditation with the Ascended Master. And tonight we're going to do one similar to that. Really powerful. So you ready? Any more questions, any more comment? This is a fascinating subject because this is the power we have. This is the power of your magical one. So two things, beloved. Remember, develop the habit, energy habit of using your magical one, number one. Number two, go back to your blue flame of awareness. So this is what you can do, and all of you here, when you go back to your breath, every hour you should be doing it, even you will come to a time you don't even have to do this. You just close your eyes, you don't even have to close your eyes. I don't close my eyes, I'm always fully, mindfully breathing. I know my breath. It will come a time you don't even have to do anything. You're always mindfully processing, aware of your breath. But now, as you train yourself, remember what we did last month? And as we work on irradiating the light program, that blue flame, really powerful in the... And if some of you don't have the meditation, we'll send it to you as a gift if you want it. And like Shree, I know you don't have it, Cindy, it would be great for you. You will work with the blue flame. Visualize the blue flame, feel it right here in your Anahata as you breathe. And through the blue flame of awareness, burn your old energy habit. See it burning in the blue flame. What about that? That's powerful. Don't you love that? And then bring to your conscious mind this new manifestation of energy habit you want. Okay? Anything else?
No.
So let's do the guided. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Any comment? Any more
Nothing.
questions? Good. So because we went longer into this, which is a fascinating subject, we'll skip the Om Namah Shivaya tonight. I wanted to do that, but normally we finish at 8 o'clock, but now it's a little later, so we'll go straight into the guided meditation. So make yourself comfortable, otherwise we would have chanted the Om Namah Shivaya for 15 minutes. But it's great. This is what I love about satsang, is it flows as it should. There is no way we should predict it. You know, if there are more questions coming, there is more talk, let it happen. Cindy, if you can lay down on the ground, you can put some pillow and for the guided meditation. You can move some of the...
What is not to do?
You can move them. And you can take... Yeah, you can make yourself very comfortable. You can move all of those. And for you, beloved, online, do the same. If you have earplugs, would be preferable. Make yourself very comfortable. If you have glasses, remove your glasses. Yeah, make yourself at home. Yeah, and if you call, we'll close the door. And all of you around the world, make yourself at home. And with earplug if you can, and take a deep breath. If you can put the music, beloved, that would be wonderful. And it's wonderful when you have questions, because often the questions come later, and it helps everyone. I lost the microphone. Beautiful. Cindy, would you like a pillow for Unique? You're fine? Beautiful. Everyone is fine here in the sanctum? Beautiful. If the music is too loud, let us know. It's important that you're completely in Shavasana, otherwise you're not going to bring your mind into the entire wave. Shavasana is the corpus pose. Put your hands on the side in mudra of receptivity. Turn your hands upward. That's it. Yeah. And if you could lay down your legs to really relax completely your body tempo. Take a very deep breath and tight everything, tight, really tight, like make a fist. And your arms, your torso and your face, and just tight, and let's release everything in this moment. And I want to hear release everything with the power of your breath. Take another deep conscious breath. Tight again. And let go. And now you go deeper and deeper. You relax even more into this one. I lost the microphone. The last one. And you take deep breath. Tight, and you life count on it, and you let go of everything. Everything. You relax, very relaxed. Everything about you is so relaxed. You are walking on a beautiful ocean. Right on the beach. It's a white sandy beach. If the music is too loud and you cannot hear Devi Ma, please let us know online and or here in the sanctum. You alone. You're walking bare feet. And it's early morning and you are in a world that you have never been. Everything looks ethereal, and there is a wonderful warm breeze coming, and the ocean is very calm. And as you're walking, you can see the palm tree. They're beautiful palm tree. And they're swaying in the wind. And you feel you're caressing the sand. As you're walking, you make a connection with Mother Earth. The sun is like pink and blue and yellow. And everything is radiant. And you're really close to the water. You're touching the water. And as you're walking, you're relaxing deeper and deeper. And you're conscious of your breath. And far away you see looks like a ball of light, and it's so vibrant. Look at it, beloved. It's calling you. And you're walking, and you feel the light, very light water coming, touching your feet. You're walking alone, you're like almost floating. You're so light. And that radiant light is calling you. Beloved, come. And as you're walking close closer and closer. You're relaxing and floating more. And you hear voices calling your name. And then you feel this energetic presence calling you. And then you're walking faster. And then you see this light. As you're walking closer, then you notice this is not a ball of light. They are the ascended master. And they are translucent. They are ethereal bodies made out of light. And there are hundreds of them. They are floating. Everyone is there. Your favorite one are there. And many of them, you can see Shiva, you can see Gautama, the Buddha, you can see deity, all of the one that you want, Tara, even Jesus Christ, the Virgin Mary, they are celestial beings of high light, of all colors. And they're calling and you're almost there. And now you have arrived and you're penetrating among them. And they're engulfing you with their energy field. Every one of them is radiant with white ray of light, yellow, green, blue, orange, red. See the light coming from the top of your head in your Sahasrara. There is a shaft of light coming straight on top of your head. Feel it penetrating. It's their energy field of divine love, healing, power energy. And crossing through, going into your spine. And as it's going through your spine, it's transmitting energetical healing energy to every cells of your body temple. Feel it. See all the cells of your body lighting up with a rainbow of color. Your brain, your ears, your eyes, and as it's penetrating, everything about you is dematerializing. Every particle of your being are starting to float into the cloud of the ascended master. Your fingers, your arms, your tongue, your eyes, your throat, your brain. See, everything is dismantling. Your heart, your lungs, your liver, your sexual reproductive organ, your kidney, your liver, your feet, your legs, your knee, your thigh, cloud of light is floating into the ocean, going gently into the stream of the ocean, penetrating into the ocean, and then you feel like you're floating by the wave of the ocean of divine love, gently rocking you. And as you are bathing and floating into the light, see your favorite celestial being. Someone that you love, could be a deity, an ascended master, and this being of light, which is all that we are connected to our Creator. It can be Shiva, it can be Jesus Christ, could be your master. Is pouring water right on top of your swasa. As you're floating, the water is trickling down and down and down all over your consciousness. And all is left is the blue flame of awareness. Bathing into the flame, the blue flame of awareness. And feel an amazing wave of love and beauty, embracing your soul and your spirit. Floating in the ocean of consciousness. Hold that deity in front of you right now, that ascended master or master, and see that blue flame in their heart chakra, and then go straight into it, through your consciousness, and merge as one. And now you become one with every particle of the cosmos. Now, in this moment, bring your Sanskalpa. Bring your first energy habit that you want to transform. The positive one. See it with your eyes. It's done. You want to drive mindfully. See yourself driving mindfully. Whatever it is, hold it firmly. Change the Sanskalpa. It's done. Reaffirm it. See it in the blue flame, through the blue flame of awareness. Bring the second Sanskalpa. No, start the music over when it's done. And then hold it very strong. See it, breathe it in, blow new life into it. Reinforce it it accomplished. It's effortless. I am a child of my Creator. I have the inner power to heal myself. Everything comes at ease to me. Bring the third sankalpa, the third intention. If it's another energy habit, you want to bring a powerful one. See it done. With the blue flame of awareness, you materialize it. If it's to manifest abundance or radiant health, through the blue flame that you have used to manifest, bring back your three intentions, reinforce them through the blue light. See a blue light, the blue pearl, and through it, bring your first sankalpa. See it firmly. It's done. Already accomplished. And then the second intention, bring it forward again. And the third one. Floating in the water effortlessly. It's easy, you're floating gently. Everything has been materialized. The power of the divine energy, the alchemy of transformation is within you, the power of our Creator. Slowly, slowly, gently floating back to the shore. Invading in the light of the Ascended Master into their love, to the light of the Divine Mother. As you're getting back to the shore, gently waiting, floating, and you sense of awareness is coming to you, and you sense of liveliness is coming to you. Every cell of your body temple is bursting with new life energy. See all the cells floating as you're wading through the ocean of consciousness. Your consciousness is flying through, coming back to the shore. And slowly, your heart, you're materializing a new heart with all new blue cells. See your heart, new lungs, spine, and you rematerializing your body with the cells. And see the cells, they're all our rainbow of the light of our Creator. New intestine, new liver, new kidney, new spleen, new circulatory system, a new jaw, new tongue, new eyes, a new skin, a new skeleton. See them all rematerializing. And as you gently rematerializing your body, you're gently coming back, floating to the shore, completely transformed by the light of our Creator and the Ascended Master. There's a fresh breeze, cooling breeze, your hair, you have brand new hair. Your body temple is made out of light energy. New life is breathed into you, my beloved one. And gently you're being carried back to the shore. Where are all the Ascended Master waiting for you? And yet you realize you're not alone. You're not even you anymore. You're all of them. You're so calm. You're floating. Gently floating back to the shore. And your body temple is vibrating with a new light, with a new energy. All negative energy, all low frequency energy has been removed. And I know you know that you can never be the same. Because you're holding within your being the blue flame of awareness. And within that blue flame, there is a divinity, and that is you. Take your own time. Take your own time. You can open your eyes slowly, gently. You can turn to your right side whenever you're ready, but take your time. It's best to turn on your right side gently when you get up. so you protect your heart. Through guided meditation, this one was a little shorter, but especially when they're longer, like 35 minutes, like you can't really let go. So if you enjoy this divine satsang and you know someone who might need it, just share it. And if you have any more questions, write down in the description. We'll answer them over the week. Or if you have any question for videos, then you would love that. Devi would consider that. And we're very thrilled about this new program coming up. We don't know the title yet, but it will maybe be called The Alchemy of Manifesting Miracle and Blessing. You got a little taste of it tonight. And if some of you haven't received the divine inner guided inner cave meditation, we'll send it for you as a gift. So just sign up on Devi's Grace. Now one is much longer, and I encourage you to do it at least once a day, especially if you're working on something. Let's say you're battling a disease or an addiction, or the power of guided meditation like this is very powerful, but it needs to be done consistently. You don't have to do it for the rest of your life, but if you're working on something very specific you want to manifest, highly encourage you to do it once a day. When I had cancer, and it was very advanced, I did it for over a year and a half, and through my recovery, and different kind, there will be different kind. So namaste, and write down your comment, and we love you, sending you a wave of divine love and blessing to all of you.